Hey everybody, this is Mark from Cedar Creek Bottoms with another fireside chat. I know you're going like, what in the world is crazy Mark Green doing now? Well, something has been on my mind here lately, and last night I kind of got jogged again about it. Me and Spencer's talked about this in the past, and last night me and Misty was talking about this. So I'm gonna do a little talk about this, and I'll tell you where I'm going with this. Because actually, she kind of helped stir me back up about it. So anyway, we had a good couple of days getting to spend some time with Sherry, Misty, Donna, Mr. Jim, and Flat Rock, and Greg and Coombo. So last couple of days has been a good day, and yeah, I didn't do filming again. I'm sorry. I don't think about it. I got to get better at this. I really do. But I hope to be able to interview my friend this weekend and have it for you next week. And then probably the following week, maybe when I release the corn patch stuff. But I do have another little outing coming up next Friday night in Coosa County with a group of people. So I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking which ways I'm going to do. I may, and if I can't get the interview for my friend this weekend, I may go ahead and release the corn pictures this coming up next week. So we'll go from there and just see what happens. But yeah, I've got two maps of Alabama. They're geological surveys. One is, of course, you can see over here, Minerals of Alabama. Kind of corresponds with this one. This one's more about the different time periods, what was happening. So, but my plan is over time to see if I can establish certain things. We already know the waterways, and I am going to order a map of the rivers and creeks of Alabama. But also, I wonder if any of us is looking at these mineral and land types. And why I'm bringing that up, because we've talked about this, and I will mention it, is certain areas have more energy because of the type of minerals or something else going on in that area. So, kind of what I want to do is just start taking a look at that. That might be something you could do for your state. Now you can pull all these type maps up on internet. I happened to go to a gem mineral show a couple of years ago, and they had these maps for free. And in my brain then I thought about, I said, start looking at the mineral side of this, or the land type too, just to see if there's some coordination with booger, or Sasquatch, or ghost, or any of the cryptid, or even UFO. So I decided that I was gonna start doing that, and I just hadn't done it like I should. Now what my plans is over time, because not all the Bigfoot sightings in Alabama are public. And what I mean by that is you have the BFRO, you have the Gulf States, and a few more that's reported sightings. But you have a lot of the littler channels or littler websites, some of them are gone now, that even went more detailed in that certain areas. So I know more than likely all 67 counties in Alabama probably have a Bigfoot sighting. I mean, I can't prove it, but I'm gonna say more than likely it has. Now, is some areas more of a hot spot? Yes, I believe more areas are a hot spot. So what my plan is get the River Creek map in, then a regular map of the highway system of Alabama and the cities. That way we can look at the urban areas compared to the rural areas. I may even get me an agricultural map that shows the heavy areas of what type of agriculture is going on. In other words, we know this part of Alabama is heavy on peanuts. We know this area here is a heavy farming area. We know this area is a heavy farming area. We know down these valleys are heavy farming areas. We know that some of these areas are. So, but what I'm wanting to go look at, and oh, there went my little thing. Using this particle board ain't a good thing, so I hope that map doesn't move on us. But what I'd like to start doing is taking all the different things of the landscape and seeing if there's something there that lines up with the sightings. So last night, like I said, Misty was showing me some stuff. It kind of got me to thinking. Me and Spencer had talked about this a few months ago, and I need to kick this off. Now, of course, I'll be starting with the sightings that I know of, that me, Keith, Mike Mullane, Mr. Bill White, Mr. McDonald, people in Alabama, you know, go to Greg, go to Coombo, you know, go, and I mean not right down to exactly where they live, but what I'm getting at is to show how much is in these regions. That way we might can learn something from that. And here goes that thing moving, and I do not know where the thumbtack went. Oh boy. Okay. Well, maybe we can survive here. Had a clothes hanger. That's what I should have done. Anyway, maybe a little breeze blowing here. So, of course, you look at the minerals of Alabama. Now I'm gonna go through this a little bit. So, of course, y'all know I live right here in this area. This is the area I worked as a Bigfoot researcher, which is Coosa, Shelby, Talladega, Clay, up toward Calhoun, a little bit into St. Clair County. That's the places I've done most of my research. That's where most of my sightings come from. Even though I've heard of sightings down here in Tallapoosa County, Chambers, Randolph, Cleburne, Cherokee, DeKalb, all over in here in Winston, Coleman, Walker, Fayette, Tuscaloosa, Pickens, and then we get on down in here around Lowndes, real heavy. Then you get down in here in this part of Alabama, a lot of sightings, and then we've heard a lot of sightings in this area, also up in here. So, you know, and these are from different individuals that took reports. Some of them's on websites, some of them are personal. Like I said, they hadn't been made public. But you can tell here in my area, and if you go over here and look in my area, I live in the Valley, Ridge, and Piedmont part of Alabama, which is basically your big ridges with valleys that's coming off the Appalachian Mountains. And that's what I was telling you, when you can kind of see through here something of the larger mountains, but also they come in here and do this number, which is more hilly. This is more of it, real tighter hills, where this is more big wide areas. In other words, you'll have a big mountain range, be a valley up through here, and over here be a mountain range, be a valley, if you get what I'm saying. Then over here is kind of the Piedmont, which goes back into Georgia. Then the Appalachians go up and then go into Tennessee, heading up toward Knoxville. And so if you look at a map, you can see it angles right up through there. So that's something I'm going to start doing. And what I'll do, I don't know which map I'm going to pick, and I may end up marking all of them. But I'll probably start with the one that shows the highways, the cities, the urban areas, and the rivers. Then I'll come back and see how that coordinates with some of this stuff. Maybe there's certain things that's holding them in this area besides water and food. Maybe a high energy place, or I mean, a lot of it could be simple just because it's a good rural area with plenty of food and water. But I'd like to start looking at that. Will it prove anything? Probably not. But it's just something for my curiosity. Might be something y'all interested in, may not be. Just something to think about, though. If you live in your state, maybe start looking at different aspects of the state you live in compared to where sightings are. Of course, we know around water there's going to be sightings. I mean, that's just pretty much known fact around water. I mean here we have the Tennessee River comes down, kind of does that and goes up. You have the Coosa come down, you can see it right there, comes down here, and then you have the Tallapoosa. It comes right down through here. It meets here at Montgomery, or right Montgomery area. Alabama River, and then you have Tom Bigby and the Black Warrior that comes all out of the Sipsey, and then you got a lot of little rivers down in Alabama, South Alabama. But I just like to look at that. Like I said, it might not mean nothing. Then again, it might. And I just like to start seeing what that looks like. I already kind of have a sneaky feeling what it's going to look like, but I want to really see that. We know that the Appalachians is probably a gateway in Alabama for the ones that might travel back and forth. I don't know if they do or not. I'm not going to say they don't. I ain't going to say they do. I don't know. I know mine, I think, stay here year round. I don't think they have a reason to travel. But you may have some that do travel. This is Coonbo's kind of his area. And he has a lot of sightings from this area. This is Greg's area. He's heard a lot of stuff in here, and different other people, Flat Rock, and some of the other people are different parts of Alabama. So so I'm seeing sightings from all parts of Alabama, and here we go with the map. But anyway, just something I wanted to. I wonder if I'll do this. It may. No, of course that ain't gonna work. Anyway, just something to think about. Like I said, I got these maps free at a Gem Mineral Show, and I said, why not get them? Because my brain went to working then. I said, I wonder if there's something about the minerals and type of land too. And what I mean by that, it could be we know places with a lot of quartz. This area here, part of Alabama, full of quartz. I can't say about a lot of the other areas because I ain't never paid no attention. I know you get down here, you got a lot of sandy loam land. I can't see rocks as much, but somebody might tell me different. I know in this area, I see a lot of rocks. Up in here, I see a lot of rocks. So, of course, you can see on this map where it details a little more about some stuff, about the different times of period. You can see how Alabama's broke down, and of course a lot of that had probably to do with sea levels at one time, I would think. And I'm not a geologist. I'm sitting here just kind of thinking on top of my head that's what that could have been. So it's just something to think about if all that comes together. That might be something for you to look at for your state, what plays a part in it. Does minerals, lay of the land, in other words, what type of land base you live in, what kind of agriculture you got going on, what kind of water sources you got, and what kind of setting, if you live in an urban city or urban or a rural setting or semi-rural setting. Some things to look at. Now, of course, I've took reports right outside of Birmingham. Basically right here in this area right here. That's a pretty good sized mountain that comes right through the Birmingham area. But right in here, well, there's more right there, excuse me. It's right on the line. I know I've heard of some reports in here. All up through here. This very active area. A lot of these other areas I know is active, but I don't know as much about them because it's other people's areas that's been working them. So, I mean, I know some of the stuff that's went on, and so it's hard for me to say a whole lot about their area. I'd rather for them to talk about it. But so it's something to think about. I don't know if you could get these offline free or not. You might could go to your state website. You might get them free, and then you might have to pay a couple bucks for them. You know, but you could get one of the rivers of your state, your agricultural zones. In other words, and what I mean by agricultural, like I was saying a while ago, like this is the peanut area of Alabama. We know this used to be the cattle area of Alabama. We know this is a heavy cotton area of Alabama. Heavy corn, cotton area, because that's rich dirt along the Tennessee River. Same in here where I live in these valleys. Cotton and corn, because it's pretty fertile. Now this was the Black Belt that you've heard mentioned, which is some of the most fertile land in Alabama. That's why it's dark green. It's some of the most fertile land. It starts a little bit over here in Georgia, goes through, goes up into Mississippi. Some of the most fertile land in the country at one time. And of course, it's probably been depleted. And then, of course, you get down in here, you start getting into more land that's, you know, which, I mean, it's still good land down in here. Most Alabama's farmland is pretty good. I mean, of course, a lot of it's been depleted. A lot of it's been put back into timber. There's another one I'd like to think about. Look at the map far as timber in Alabama, where your heavy timber areas are. Of course, I know this is going to be heavy timber. This here is going to be heavy timbered. Down in here is heavy timbered, and down in here, because that's the almost the biggest agricultural product in Alabama now is timber. I can't remember what number we are, but that's probably one of our largest resources that we have is timber. So looking at timber, just something to think about, something to really think about. I know this ain't much of a video, but it's something I was thinking about coming home last night. And you had these maps. It's something I'm wanting to do, been planning on doing. So I'm gonna order me a river map. Of course, I already probably have a highway map that shows the cities and highways. And then maybe try to get me an agricultural map, and maybe even one for timber. If it's separate, it may be included in the agricultural map. I don't know, but I've seen one before because it blew my mind what it said about Alabama. It's something I never really thought about. Even me, though, grew up in a farming family, it kind of blew my mind. I always thought this area was the cattle part of Alabama, when it was up here in Coleman, Morgan, Blunt, and right in this area was the cattle area of Alabama. Kind of blew my mind. I always knew that was the peanuts. Some of these counties in here I didn't even know were heavy farming counties way back in the day. They're not now. They're in timber. That kind of blew my mind. You know, just different. So anyway, we'll get off this. I hope this made sense for what I'm thinking about doing. In other words, what I'm doing, I'm going to take one map and start putting dots in for sidings. Wherever there's been multiple, I'll use one color for multiple. In other words, a red or a black for multiple. If there's a single one in a certain area and they're away from others, I'll use a different color. If it's a heavy activity area, I may draw a block with it or something. I don't know. I'll sit down and think about it. If y'all have any suggestions, reach out to me in my comments. Say, hey Mark, try it this way. I'm all for suggestions. I just like to see if this would work, would tell me something more, and then if it would work for you in your state, and I think it will. Just something to really think about. All right, let's see. Like I said, we spent last couple of days with Misty, Sherry, Mr. Jim, Donna, Greg, Kumbo. Got to sit down. We all had a good supper last night. Got to do some good talking, laughing, having a good time. When Misty and them and Sherry and them came down to visit the other day, we had some interesting things happen. I'll let them, if they want to talk about it, talk about it. We may talk about it down the road, have a little show on it or something. May do that or something. Talk a little bit about a few things that went on. Let's see. Like I said, I got another little outing coming up next Friday night, and tomorrow night I will have a guest on for my live. Y'all come check it out, listen to it. We'll have Mr. David Hughes on. I know y'all have seen him in the chat. Let him tell a little bit about himself and what he likes to do, and of course we'll talk about boogers a little bit and get his take on how he believes about everything. And that's one thing I want to say is everybody has a right to have their opinion about what they think these things are. Everybody's opinion is not wrote in stone. And so, if somebody does not have an opinion you have, just get along with folks. We can all be human. On that note, I want to talk about one other thing, and I'm not going to go into names, I ain't going to go into details, but I'm going to say this right here. I will not fuss with anybody over a picture, audio, any of that, because I was not there. I cannot say what happened there, and I'm going to be more of a man and say, yeah, I see something, and then I'm going to go on and leave it alone. And that's the way all of us should be. We know there's legit pictures of boogers out there. There's legit pictures of other things. UFOs, ghosts, paranormal, whatever we want to call it. All this rolled into one bracket. We know all this exists. We know some folks are flesh and blood. Hey, that's fine. I mean, if that's what you're experiencing, that is fine. I want you to believe the way you want you to believe. I have begun to see more. Not saying you're not seeing it. You may be experiencing things different than I'm experiencing. I don't think these things do the same with everybody. I'm sorry, I just don't think they do that. I think there is some differences happen. There's some people that claim to have relationships with them. I don't know if they do or not. I can't say if they do or not. There's people that have good experiences, people have bad experiences. We got the people that's flesh and blood. It says these things are flesh and blood, and that's all they are, with some special abilities. It may be true. It may be some kind of science we don't understand. But me being a Christian and having that faith and knowing in my heart that God exists, He made this earth and everything in it that's good, and I emphasize that is good. There's more to this world than we understand. Yeah, I'm like most people. I could care less about the woo word. That woo is just a term. Not everybody that has this stuff happen is crazy. They're actually experiencing stuff. I've seen it on friends' faces when they come out of a field one night. Something happened in that field that was not normal. It was supernatural or high strangeness, whatever these words we want to call them, the woo, or I'm going to just call it what it is, supernatural. We live in a supernatural world. If you read the Bible says we live in a supernatural world. Things that Jesus done was supernatural. Things that happened to the prophets were supernatural. If you go look in all these other religions around the world, they claim to have supernatural stuff. So there's something going on that we as humans in our flesh do not understand. I don't think we can comprehend it. And another thing I want to go into, there is no experts in this field. There are some people that's had a lot of experiences, and they may have figured out some things, and they're good people. Most of them I have been around. But there are no experts. I do not know the answer to this. I base most of my stuff on biblical principles, because that's the only thing I know to do it with. I mean, there's, so to me, it's not, what I'm trying to get at is we can all have different opinions and agree on it, and agree, as that saying, to disagree. And at the end of the day, still be friends, still act like human beings with each other, not like a bunch of wild dogs wanting to tear somebody apart. I like a human being like God made us. We're not animals. Even though we're flesh and blood, we're not animals. We do have something different from all the other animals. I mean, really we do. We really do. How many other animals know how to write? Yeah, you might take a gorilla and get him to do something. You might take a dog every now and then and get him to do something. How many of them sit down and read a book? Drive a car? Fly a plane? There's some things that set us apart from the animal kingdom. I'm sorry. I mean, we just, there's things set us apart. I think that comes from God. We were given dominion over everything on this earth. Everything on this earth we have dominion over. Now, have we done a good job with it? No, we haven't done a good job with it. We have not done a good job with it. I agree with that. A lot of that was out of greed and selfishness and just don't care. And I didn't mean to turn this into a little preaching session, because I am not a minister or a preacher. But I do have beliefs. I try to stick with my beliefs. But my biggest thing is I want people to get along, love one another, forgive one another. We can talk to each other as human beings without getting into stuff. I know sometimes some people can make you mad enough to that point where you want to strike out, but in the end, is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. The only time I condone anything is in self-defense. I used to be a hothead. I've really got over a lot of that. Back in my younger days, I was a hothead. I still have a temper, but it takes a lot more for it to get rolling. And with the help and the grace of the Lord, He has kept a lot of that down. So, anyway, we can do the same. And I hate to go from talking about maps to talking about this, but I felt like I needed to kind of get into something a little bit without naming names and situations. And this is one reason I backed up from the Bigfoot world for a while, was mess like this, where somebody gets mad and here we go. I mean, we can't just sit here and be human beings and discuss stuff. And here's another thing, folks. Know your facts. Know your facts. Do your research. Know your facts. Do your research before you come jumping out on something. I see that every day in Facebook. There'll be a post come up, and you'll have 20 people just start jumping on something they don't even know nothing about, or more than that. And I'm just like, what are you doing? No, I'm not a judge. No, I'm not better than nobody. I just know when to keep my mouth shut and keep my opinions to myself. And I know when to state them and when not to state them. And hopefully I know how to state my opinion without affecting other people. And because, I don't want to be that way. I try to treat people good, not boasting or nothing. I do try to treat people good. Best of my ability that the Lord's gave me the ability to do. Can I do better? Of course, I can do better every day. All right, I'm going to quit preaching. I know y'all going like, Mark, I didn't come here to hear a sermon today. We come here to talk about Bigfoot. But I am going to say stuff on my channel because I felt led to do it. I feel led to do things. So, and when I'm told to do stuff, I'm pretty much going to try to do it. But anyway, going back to the maps real quick, that's something to think about. May not get nowhere with it. Then it may show something you could do with your state. Start compiling where sightings are compared to what different things are in your state, and see if there's something that's similar or something adds up. I mean, we may all find out a certain mineral is a big area, like in your state, my state, and other states may be a big area where a lot of activity is, and then we can say, now why is that stronger there? I mean, yeah, it may be because of water, food. I mean, we don't know. I think that plays a part in a lot of stuff. Is always food and water and cover with most animals. That's one of the basic things we got to have. We got to have water and food every day, and we got to have cover. So I mean, that's a given right there. So we know most animals are going to be located, most of them pretty close to water and a food source and a bedding area. We know that. I mean, that's pretty typical, you know. But could other factors be playing in there? Also, could some other things play in there, like your latitude, longitude? I live pretty much on the 33rd degree parallel. Lines up with the Egyptian pyramids. Lines up with some other stuff in the U.S. Some old historical sites. Could that have something to do with it? A lot of things to think about. All right, so I've been on here about 30 minutes running my mouth pretty much about nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to end this video. I appreciate all the new subscribers, all my older subscribers. I appreciate everybody coming in on the lives on Friday night, making it a good chat, making it feel like family, making people feel at home, speaking to each other, having a good time. I've gone on some people's chats, won't even nobody speak back. They ain't talking bad and they ain't bringing up no names, but you'll go to their chat and try to interact with people. It's like they don't want to talk to you, you know. And I'm going like, what is this? You know, this ain't the way I want my chat to be. I want people to interact with each other and talk a little bit, you know, amongst each other. I want to ask, you know, people ask questions. Now, I'm no expert in nothing, but I might can give you an answer. If I don't, it might be something I can find down the road, you know. So, just something the way I think. So, anyway, y'all remember tomorrow night, I have a guest on. Hopefully, might have an interview from another club member for next week. If not, I'll do the corn patch. Next Friday night, I do have another outing to do. So I may do some filming there if it's okay with the other people that's coming. I should have done filming Tuesday night up on the club, and when we went to some other places around here Tuesday, but I didn't. I'm one of these types, I hate to whoop out a camera on everybody. Every time somebody steps out of a vehicle, I don't want to be whooping a camera out. You know, I don't want them to say, Mark's camera happy, but you know. Anyway, everybody's getting out with the tractors. Bush hog. It's nice, boy, here in Alabama. Over in the 50s at night. I think it was 80 degrees today, with a little breeze blowing. I tell you, it's been nice. It's been nice, boy. This is the weather I live for right here. This is my time of the year. September, October, November, December, I love it. And then, of course, come March and April, I like it too. And I don't mind January, February too much either, but you gotta just be content with what time of year you're in and try to live with it. That's all you can do. But I do enjoy this time of year. Leaves turning, getting cooler, things slowing down to some point on the farm, and then getting in the woods more, hunting and enjoying nature better. It's hard to enjoy nature when it's 100 degrees and rattlesnakes and cottonmouths and copperheads everywhere and ticks and something going on out there at the corn patch now. whole bunch of crows out there. Okay. I seen something black out there moving around. A flock of crows out there. They coming in, probably eating on them watermelon seeds I busted the other day. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna get off here. Y'all give us a subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification button, share, tell your friends about us. Come join us on our lives on Friday nights. Join in. If you're new, just say I'm a new subscriber, and maybe put it from where you at, from where you from. You know, you ain't got to put your city, or I mean, if you do, that's fine too. But you can say, hey, whatever state you're from, or if you want to say what county in your state, that's fine. Let us know where you're from and join the crowd. We got some good people in there, and they'll talk to you. That's one thing I'm proud of right now, is we have a very good group of people. So y'all remember to go support people we support. You know, Spencer and Misty with Woodwalkers. Greg, he's in there with them. He joins them pretty regular. You got Mr. Chris Reinhardt with Discover Sasquatch. And of course you got the Beast Crew, Mark and Larry. PJ Arkansas, out in Arkansas. You know, check her out. She just started her YouTube a few weeks ago, and she's getting off to a good start and having some good stuff. Squatch and Holler, he's getting started off, doing pretty good. He's had some good people on. Looks like he's going, the next few weeks gonna have some good people on. So y'all go support people. Red Creek, and of course, you know, homesteading. You know, there's a lot of good ones out there. Deep South, Homestead, Permapastures, Health and Homesteading. I've watched some other small ones here a few days that's had some pretty good stuff on them. So y'all go check them out if you're into homesteading. And I encourage everybody to really think about your food supply, your water supply. Really put some thinking into that. Not saying be a prepper and go out buy half a grocery store and put it in a closet. I'm just saying think of different things and alternatives to help you down the road, just in case. So, all right, well, I'm gonna get off from here, and y'all have a good weekend. Hope to see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and hope next week I have someone on for you to listen to besides me. So y'all have a good afternoon. Love all y'all. Remember to love one another. Be kind. Get along. Be non-judgmental. And I'll say a little short prayer and we'll call it a day. So, Lord, thank you for everything you do for us each and every day. Thank you for loving us and giving us your only Son to keep us from dying in our sin, Lord. Forgive us for our sins and help us forgive others for when they trespass against us. Lord, be with all the sick and the shut in, whatever their problems may be, Lord. Heal them, and your will be done, Lord. Lord, your will be done on finances for people or other stuff they have going in their life, Lord. Be with them and help them and try to direct them. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, y'all have a good night, and we'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.